There are moments in life when you find yourself before a mirror that reflects more than just your face. A mirror that reveals what you've tried to hide from yourself for years, perhaps even decades. It shows the raw, unvarnished truth of your inner landscape, the shadows you've meticulously swept under the rug of your consciousness. This is the profound and transformative story of Alara, a woman who, like many of us, once believed her most twisted thoughts were her sworn enemies. But through an unexpected encounter, she came to understand a deeper, more unsettling truth. These thoughts were not adversaries, but divine messengers, cloaked in the guise of darkness, sent to guide her towards an awakening she never knew she needed. Alara's existence unfolded within the confines of a city perpetually shrouded in a muted, melancholic grey. The towering buildings, like silent stone giants, seemed to possess an insatiable hunger, devouring every last ray of sunlight, leaving the streets below in a perpetual twilight. It was a place where hope often felt like a distant, flickering ember, struggling to survive against the prevailing gloom. Yet, amidst this urban desolation, Alara possessed a rare and undeniable gift. She was a sculptor, her hands capable of coaxing life and form from inert clay. Her talent was undeniable, a spark of divine creativity within her. But despite this innate ability, her fingers would tremble, a nervous tremor that betrayed an inner turmoil. Whenever she approached a fresh block of clay, whenever she dared to conceive of something new, something truly her own. It wasn't the simple, understandable fear of failure that gripped her. No, this was something far more insidious, far more deeply rooted. It was the relentless, insidious whisper of a voice within her own mind, a constant, corrosive litany that echoed with chilling precision. You are not good enough. Everything you touch turns to mediocrity. Why do you even bother trying? You'll only disappoint yourself and everyone else again. This spectral voice, a relentless tormentor, had been her unwelcome companion since the tender years of childhood. It had been forged in the crucible of harsh criticisms, in the searing heat of disapproving glances, in the bitter ashes of broken promises and unfulfilled expectations. Each wound, each perceived failure, had added another layer to its oppressive power. Over the long, arduous march of time, the lines between external judgment and internal condemnation blurred irrevocably. Alara could no longer discern if this voice originated from the echoes of her past, or if it had, through sheer repetition and unchallenged acceptance, become an intrinsic, inseparable part of her very being. It was a parasitic entity, feeding on her self-doubt, growing stronger with every moment of hesitation, every act of self-sabotage. And it is precisely at this juncture, at the precipice of this profound internal struggle, that the true mystery of her journey, and perhaps of our own, truly begins to unfold. One day, as Alara toiled in the quiet solitude of her atelier, the air thick with the scent of damp clay and her own unspoken anxieties, an unexpected visitor materialized. The door, usually a barrier against the outside world, swung open silently, and a woman, ancient and ethereal, stepped across the threshold without so much as a knock. Her presence was immediate, profound, and utterly disarming. Her eyes, deep-set and luminous, seemed to hold the weight of countless centuries, reflecting stories untold, wisdom accumulated through trials and triumphs beyond mortal comprehension. Yet, Alara felt no surge of fear, no instinctive recoil. Instead, a strange, almost primal sense of recognition washed over her, a feeling akin to encountering a long-lost memory or a forgotten part of herself. It was as if this woman was a living, breathing mirror, reflecting an aspect of her own soul that Alara had unknowingly yearned to connect with. The woman offered no introduction, no pleasantries. She simply moved with an unhurried grace, settling herself onto a worn wooden stool in a corner of the studio, her gaze fixed intently upon Alara's half-formed sculpture. Minutes stretched into an eternity, filled only by the soft, rhythmic scrape of Alara's tools against the clay. and the heavy, unspoken weight of the woman's presence. The silence was not awkward, but pregnant with an anticipation that hummed in the very air. Then, finally, the woman's voice, a low, resonant murmur that seemed to vibrate with ancient truths, broke the stillness. You believe that persistent voice, the one that relentlessly torments you, is your enemy. You see it as a saboteur, a destroyer of your peace and potential. But what if I were to tell you, Ilara, that this very voice, in its relentless pursuit, is in fact your greatest ally? What if its darkness is merely a disguise, a veil over a profound, divine purpose? Ilara froze. The sculpting tool clattered from her numb fingers, falling with a soft thud onto the clay-dusted floor. Her hands, which moments before had been shaping form, now hung limp at her sides. Slowly, as if drawn by an invisible, irresistible force, she turned to face the enigmatic stranger. In that precise moment, a tremor began deep within her, a seismic shift in the very foundations of her being. It was not the tremor of anger, nor the familiar chill of fear. No, this was something far more profound, far more unsettling. It was the visceral, undeniable sensation that the entire tapestry of her life, every belief, every assumption, every carefully constructed defense, was poised on the brink of being utterly unraveled and meticulously rewoven. Who are you? Ilara managed to whisper, her voice barely audible, a fragile thread in the suddenly charged atmosphere of the studio. The woman's lips curved into a gentle smile, a smile that held the boundless compassion of a mother and the profound wisdom of an ancient sage, perfectly balanced, perfectly intertwined. I am merely someone who, much like yourself, spent countless years enslaved by a voice that condemned her, that whispered of inadequacy and failure, that sought to diminish her spirit. But in the depths of that struggle, I stumbled upon a truth, a revelation that shattered my old perceptions and utterly transformed my existence. And now, Ilara, I am here to illuminate that same path for you. I am here to show you that the very darkness you perceive within your mind holds the key to your liberation. Before we delve deeper into Ilara's journey and the profound wisdom she uncovered, I invite you to join our community. If this message resonates with you, if you're seeking to understand the hidden meanings behind your own struggles, please take a moment to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you won't miss any of the powerful insights we share on this path of divine discovery. Your journey towards understanding your inner landscape begins now, and so, in the hushed sanctity of Ilara's atelier, a conversation began. One that would stretch for hours, weaving a tapestry of revelation and profound insight. It was a dialogue that would unveil truths Ilara had never dared to consider, truths that lay hidden beneath layers of societal conditioning and personal pain. They spoke of the very nature of these twisted thoughts, these internal tormentors, and the astonishing, often unsettling divine purpose that lay concealed behind the veil of mental darkness. They spoke of the alchemical process, the sacred art of transforming that which seemingly destroys us into the very force that ultimately saves us, guiding us towards a deeper, more authentic self. The wise woman, her voice a soothing balm, yet imbued with an undeniable authority, began to explain. She revealed that there are not just one, but 4 distinct types of twisted thoughts that plague the human mind, each a unique form of internal suffering, yet each, when understood through the lens of divine purpose, a disguised messenger from the spiritual realm. The first, she explained, is self-criticism. This is the relentless, unforgiving voice that mercilessly martyrizes you for your perceived errors, that forces you to relive moments of failure with agonizing clarity, that whispers insidious doubts until you are utterly convinced of your own inadequacy. It's the internal prosecutor, judge, and executioner, all rolled into one, leaving you feeling perpetually unworthy, perpetually flawed. But the woman, with a gaze that pierced through Ilara's defenses, revealed a truth so startling, so counterintuitive that it momentarily stole Alara's breath. Self-criticism, in its deepest, most profound essence, does not exist to destroy you, Alara. Its true divine purpose is to illuminate the precise areas within your being where profound growth is not just possible, but absolutely necessary. It is a divine messenger, yes, but one that often arrives cloaked in the sharp, undeniable sting of pain. Why pain? Because pain, my dear, is often the only language potent enough, raw enough, to pierce through the thick, protective armor of the human ego. It is the universe's way of getting your undivided attention, a stark signal that something within you yearns for evolution, for healing, for a higher understanding. As the woman spoke, Alara felt a profound stirring deep within her chest, a sensation akin to an ancient, dormant truth being gently, yet powerfully, awakened. It was as if a forgotten chord had been struck, vibrating with a resonance that echoed through the very core of her being. The woman continued, her narrative flowing seamlessly, guiding Alara deeper into the labyrinth of the mind. She then spoke of the second type of twisted thought, the broken record. This is the insidious mental pattern that replays endlessly, a relentless loop of past mistakes, perceived slights, or unresolved anxieties. You make an error, a misstep, and your mind, like a scratched vinyl record, replays that moment hundreds, even thousands of times, unable to move forward, unable to find resolution. You become trapped in a suffocating cycle of guilt, remorse, and regret, each repetition deepening the grooves of self-condemnation. But do you truly understand the divine purpose concealed within this relentless repetition, Alara? The woman asked, her voice softening, yet retaining its profound depth. Its purpose is to compel you to learn, to force a deeper integration of the lesson. It is designed to prevent you from simply moving forward superficially, without true transformation. The broken record, in its persistent, maddening repetition, is a divine messenger that cries out, "You cannot ignore this. You must confront this. You are being called to change, to evolve, to integrate this experience into the fabric of your soul, so that you may never repeat the same pattern again." A silent tear traced a path down Alara's cheek. She recognized every single word, every nuance of the description. She had been living within the confines of that broken record for what felt like an eternity, its monotonous refrain her constant companion. The third type of twisted thought is the martyr syndrome. This is the pervasive, often subconscious sensation that you are a perpetual victim of the universe, that life is inherently unfair to you, that everyone around you seems to effortlessly attract good fortune, while you are condemned to an endless cycle of suffering. It is the insidious victim complex that paralyzes you, rendering you incapable of taking decisive action, trapping you in a self-fulfilling prophecy of helplessness and despair. You find comfort in the narrative of your own suffering, even as it drains your life force. But here lies the profound secret, Alara, the woman said, leaning forward slightly, her eyes locking with Alara's, conveying an intensity that was both challenging and deeply compassionate. The martyr syndrome, in its deceptive guise, is a divine messenger sent to reveal your inherent power. It is a catalyst, a spiritual alarm clock, because when you finally awaken to the truth that you are not merely a victim, that you possess agency, that you hold the sacred power to consciously shape and change your reality, you will unearth a strength, a resilience, a divine spark within you that you never, in your wildest dreams, knew you possessed. It is the universe daring you to claim your sovereignty. And then came the fourth type, the most subtle, yet equally destructive, insignificant details. This is the pervasive tendency to magnify minor problems, to inflate trivial concerns until they balloon into overwhelming, catastrophic storms in a teacup. A casual, offhand comment from someone becomes a deeply personal rejection. A small, easily rectifiable error transforms into a monumental, catastrophic failure, threatening to unravel your entire existence. your mind becomes a magnifying glass, distorting reality, turning shadows into monsters. This particular messenger, the woman explained, her voice now imbued with a gentle guiding quality, arrives to teach you the invaluable art of discernment. It comes to show you the crucial difference between what truly matters, what holds genuine spiritual weight, and what is merely noise, a fleeting distraction in the grand symphony of life. It is a gift, Alara, disguised as anxiety, a divine invitation to cultivate inner peace by learning to separate the wheat from the chaff, to recognize the true battles from the illusory ones. Hours melted away, each passing moment deepening Alara's understanding, unraveling years of ingrained misconceptions. The wise woman, in her profound generosity, shared fragments of her own life's journey, recounting how she too had once been utterly consumed and seemingly destroyed by these very same twisted thoughts. She spoke of her own arduous path, her own moments of despair, and how, through persistent effort and a willingness to look beyond the surface, she had learned to transmute them. She vividly described the pivotal day when the profound realization dawned upon her. Her darkest, most tormenting thoughts were not curses, but rather sacred divine invitations for profound growth, for a deeper connection to her true self and to the divine source. There exists a profound secret, Alara, the woman confided, her voice dropping to a near whisper, as if sharing a sacred trust, a truth that the wisest souls throughout history have known, yet rarely openly share. It is the secret that mental darkness, in its rawest, most terrifying form, is not a curse to be feared or eradicated. On the contrary, it is a blessing in disguise, a potent catalyst for transformation. It is the universe, in its infinite wisdom and boundless love, gently, yet firmly, pushing you, urging you, sometimes even dragging you, towards the magnificent, authentic being you were always destined to become. It is the crucible in which your true essence is forged. Bai. A profound silence settled between them, broken only by the soft rustle of Alara shifting on her stool, her mind reeling from the weight of these revelations. The air in the atelier, once heavy with her despair, now vibrated with a palpable sense of possibility. But how? Alara finally managed to ask, her voice still fragile, yet imbued with a newfound urgency. How do I begin to transform these twisted thoughts, these internal tormentors, into the divine messengers you speak of? How do I harness this darkness for growth? The wise woman's smile deepened, a knowing glint in her ancient eyes. Ah, Alara, that is the sacred work. It is not a path for the faint of heart, but it is a path that promises liberation. There are 7 steps, 7 sacred keys, that, when diligently applied, will unlock the transformative power within you. 7 steps that, when embraced, will change everything. The first step, she began, is to assess the true gravity of the situation. When a twisted thought, a wave of anxiety, or a surge of self-condemnation arises, you must pause. You must consciously step back from the immediate emotional maelstrom and ask yourself, with unwavering honesty, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being an existential threat and 1 being a fleeting inconvenience, how truly grave is this, right now? The insidious nature of our twisted thoughts, she explained, is their tendency to inflate every minor setback, every perceived flaw, into a catastrophic 10-level crisis. They scream that everything is an emergency, that your world is crumbling. But when you engage in this simple yet profoundly powerful act of objective assessment, you will discover a startling truth. The vast majority of these perceived crises are, in reality, merely a 3 or a 4. They are manageable, surmountable, often even insignificant in the grand scheme of things. This seemingly simple act of evaluation, the woman elaborated, her voice a gentle guide, is a powerful spiritual practice. It is the act of consciously disengaging from the chaotic, often irrational, emotional state that these thoughts induce. It pulls you out of the swirling vortex of fear and self-pity and firmly plants you in a state of rational, discerning awareness. And it is only within this calm, rational space, Ilara, that you can truly perceive the unvarnished truth, stripped of the distortions of your ego and the whispers of your past wounds. It is where clarity resides. The second step, she continued, is to consider its future importance. When a worry gnaws at your soul, when a problem seems insurmountable, you must pose a crucial question to yourself. Will this truly matter 6 months from now? Will this specific concern, this anxiety, this perceived failure, hold any significant weight in the tapestry of my life half a year down the line? The profound, often liberating truth, she revealed, is that an astonishing 90% of the things that torment us today, that consume our precious mental and emotional energy, will be utterly forgotten, rendered irrelevant, or completely resolved within that 6-month time frame. They are transient clouds, not eternal storms. This perspective, Ilara, the woman affirmed, her gaze steady and reassuring, is a divine gift, a profound act of self-compassion, because it starkly reveals how much of your invaluable mental and spiritual energy you are inadvertently squandering on matters that possess no real, lasting importance. And when you truly grasp this, when you internalize this liberating truth, you reclaim your power. You retrieve the scattered fragments of your focus and energy, redirecting them towards what truly serves your highest good, towards what truly aligns with your divine purpose. The third step, she explained, is to verify if your reaction is truly appropriate. This requires a deep, unflinching look at your emotional responses. Are you reacting disproportionately to a minor incident? Are you perhaps unconsciously channeling weeks, months, or even years of suppressed anger, frustration, or resentment into a single, seemingly trivial event? Are you projecting ancient fears, unresolved traumas, or past hurts onto present situations, distorting your perception of reality? When you meticulously examine the proportionality of your reaction, the woman elucidated, her words resonating with profound psychological and spiritual insight, you embark on a journey of profound self-understanding. You begin to unravel the complex layers of your own psyche. You will often discover, Ilara, that you are not truly angry, fearful, or upset about the immediate present situation. Instead, you are reacting to the echoes of something that transpired long ago, a wound that has never fully healed, a shadow that still lingers from your past. This step is about bringing conscious awareness to these subconscious patterns, allowing you to respond from a place of presence rather than reaction. The fourth step, she emphasized, is to consciously shift your focus from the problem to the solution. This is a pivotal moment of empowerment, because when you remain fixated, trapped, and consumed by the problem, you inadvertently activate the victim state. You surrender your agency, rendering yourself powerless, a mere pawn in the game of circumstance. But the moment you consciously, deliberately, and with unwavering intention, redirect your focus towards finding a solution, you instantly reclaim your power. You transform from a passive recipient of fate into an active co-creator of your reality. This profound shift in focus, Ilara, the woman declared, her voice now imbued with a quiet intensity, is nothing short of pure spiritual alchemy. It is the sacred art of transforming lead into gold, of transmuting despair into divine opportunity. Because suddenly, that very twisted thought, that seemingly insurmountable problem that once paralyzed you, that held you captive in its grip, now becomes a potent catalyst for inspired action, a divine impetus for creative problem solving. It becomes the very force that propels you forward. The fifth step, she revealed, is to learn from the experience. Every twisted thought, every moment spent in the suffocating grip of mental darkness, every perceived failure, every misstep along your path, contains within its core a profound, invaluable lesson. It is a hidden gem, waiting to be unearthed. And when you consciously, diligently, and with an open heart extract that lesson, when you integrate its wisdom into your being, you perform a sacred act of transformation. You transmute suffering into wisdom, pain into profound insight. Wisdom, Ilara, the woman explained, her eyes reflecting the deep understanding of a soul that had traversed many trials, is the precious gold you meticulously extract from the raw, unrefined coal of suffering. It is the refined essence of experience. And paradoxically, the deeper, the more intense your suffering, the more abundant the gold you can potentially extract, provided you possess the discernment, the courage, and the spiritual tools to know how to truly look for it, how to truly claim it. The sixth step, she urged, is to commit to doing differently next time. Because learning, in isolation, without application, remains a sterile, theoretical exercise. It is utterly useless if you do not actively integrate that learning into your behavior, into your choices, into the very fabric of your actions. You must be willing to change your patterns, to consciously choose a different path, to act in alignment with your newfound wisdom. You must be willing to be different, to embody the transformation you seek. This, Ilara, the woman admitted, a hint of gentle understanding in her voice, is often the most challenging, the most uncomfortable part of the journey. Because true change is inherently unsettling. It demands that you consciously let go of the familiar, even if the familiar is painful. It requires you to shed the skin of who you once were, to release the old narratives, the old identities that no longer serve your highest good. But it is also, without a doubt, the most profoundly rewarding part, because it is precisely in this act of courageous transformation that you truly become new, that you step into the magnificent, authentic self you were always meant to be. And the seventh step, she concluded, the most crucial, the most spiritually profound of all, is to extract the positive from every experience. Because in every shadow, no matter how deep, there exists a spark of light. In every perceived failure, there lies the seed of a future victory. In every ending, in every form of death, there is the promise of rebirth, of renewal, of a fresh beginning. This is the ultimate act of faith, the ultimate embrace of divine providence. When you cultivate the spiritual discipline to consistently extract the positive, the woman said, her eyes now shining with a luminous light that seemed to emanate from a realm beyond the physical, you will discover a profound, liberating truth. There is no experience, no matter how harrowing, no matter how dark, that cannot ultimately serve your highest good. There is no twisted thought, no matter how tormenting, that cannot teach you a vital lesson. There is no darkness, no matter how encompassing, that does not contain within its very core a potent seed of light, a promise of awakening, a divine invitation to transcend. Ilara absorbed every single word, each syllable resonating deep within her soul, as if she were hearing true wisdom for the very first time. It was as if her entire previous life had been lived in a state of spiritual deafness, her ears closed to the profound truths that had always been whispering around her. Now, the veil had been lifted, and the symphony of divine guidance was finally audible. A profound stillness enveloped the atelier as the wise woman, her teachings now complete, rose from her stool with an almost imperceptible grace. Her gaze, filled with an ancient knowing, drifted towards the unfinished sculpture Ilara had been working on, the one that had been a silent testament to her inner turmoil. It was a human figure, yes, but one tragically incomplete. The arms remained unformed, mere stumps of clay, incapable of embracing or creating. The face was a blank mask, devoid of expression, a mirror of Ilara's own emotional void. With a gentle, deliberate movement, the woman extended her hand, placing it softly upon the cool, malleable clay. Her touch was light, yet Ilara felt an electric current. A surge of energy passed through the material. The woman whispered something, a phrase or a blessing, so faint that Ilara, despite her heightened senses, could not discern the words. But in that precise, sacred moment, something shifted, subtly, yet irrevocably. The very quality of light filtering through the dusty windows of the atelier seemed to change, deepening, becoming richer, imbued with an ethereal glow. The air itself grew denser, heavier, charged with an unspoken significance, as if the divine presence had just imprinted itself upon the very fabric of the space. "You will finish this sculpture, Elara," the woman stated, turning to face her, her voice now a clear, resonant prophecy. "And when you do, when your hands have given it its final form, you will understand everything. You will understand that this sculpture is not merely a work of art, a testament to your skill. No, Elara, it is a living, breathing mirror of your own profound transformation, a tangible representation of the journey you have just embarked upon, a testament to the divine alchemy within you." And then, with the same quiet grace with which she had arrived, the woman began to walk towards the door. Elara watched, mesmerized, a silent plea forming on her lips, a desperate desire for her to stay, to offer more guidance. But before stepping across the threshold, the woman paused, turning back one last time, her eyes holding Elara's with an intensity that promised eternal remembrance. "Remember this one truth, Elara," she imparted, her voice a final, echoing benediction. "The twisted thoughts that torment you, the shadows that dance in the corners of your mind, they are not your enemies. They are not curses sent to destroy you. They are, in their deepest essence, your most profound teachers, your most rigorous masters. They have come into your life with a singular, divine purpose, to teach you, to guide you, to forge you into the magnificent being you are destined to become. And when you finally grasp this, when you truly, deeply accept this liberating truth, you will discover that you were never, not for a single moment, truly alone. You will realize that there has always been a benevolent, divine intelligence, a guiding hand, orchestrating your journey, leading you through the deepest valleys of darkness, always towards the light of your own awakening." And then, as silently as she had appeared, she was gone. The door closed with a soft click, leaving Elara alone in the atelier, the scent of clay and the lingering echo of ancient wisdom her only companions. Her hands still trembled, yes, but this time the tremor was not born of fear or self-doubt. It was a tremor of anticipation, a vibrant hum of nascent hope, a profound sense of purpose that had been ignited within her soul. In the days, weeks, and months that followed, Elara, with a newfound resolve, began to diligently apply the 7 sacred steps the wise woman had imparted. Each time a twisted thought, a familiar whisper of inadequacy, or a wave of anxiety threatened to engulf her, she would consciously pause. She would assess its true gravity on that scale of 1 to 10, often finding it to be a mere 3 or 4, not the 10 her mind had screamed. When consuming anxiety threatened to paralyze her, she would ask herself, with a calm detachment, if this particular worry would truly matter 6 months from now, finding liberation in the realization that most would fade into insignificance. And whenever she felt the insidious pull of the victim state, she would actively, deliberately seek out the solution, shifting her focus from the problem to the path forward, reclaiming her agency. And slowly, almost imperceptibly at first, then with a growing momentum, something profound began to change within Elara. It was not a sudden magical transformation, a lightning bolt of instant enlightenment. It was not an overnight miracle, a dramatic, instantaneous cure. No, it was a slow, constant, deeply profound metamorphosis, akin to the patient, meticulous work of a sculptor molding clay. Each conscious choice, each moment of self-awareness, each application of the steps was like a gentle press, a subtle shaping, gradually refining her inner landscape. Her hands, once prone to nervous tremors, now moved with a newfound confidence, a quiet authority. Her fingers, once hesitant, now danced across the clay with a purposeful grace, guided by an inner vision that had finally been clarified. And the sculpture she had abandoned, the one that had mirrored her own incompleteness, began to take on a vibrant, undeniable life of its own. The arms, once mere stumps, emerged with strength and grace, reaching outwards, embracing the world. The face, once a blank, featureless mask, slowly revealed itself, etched with an expression of profound depth and undeniable character. And when, after countless hours of dedicated work, the sculpture was finally complete, Alara stepped back, her heart swelling with a revelation so extraordinary, so deeply personal, that it brought tears to her eyes. The sculpture was not a common human figure, a mere representation of the physical form. No, it was a figure that embodied both radiant light and profound darkness, a testament to the duality of the human experience and the sacred integration of both. Its eyes were deep, ancient, as if they held the accumulated wisdom of the entire universe, reflecting both suffering and transcendence. Its hands were open, palms facing upwards, in a gesture of profound receptivity, as if perpetually receiving a divine blessing, a sacred offering from the cosmos. And its face, its face held an expression that was simultaneously etched with the undeniable marks of profound suffering and illuminated by an unshakable, serene peace. It was her. It was Alara herself. It was her entire journey, her profound transformation, made manifest in the tangible, enduring form of clay. That night, Alara sat alone in her atelier, the finished sculpture bathed in the soft glow of the moonlight filtering through the window. And she wept. But this time, these were not tears of pain, not tears of despair or self-pity. These were tears of profound recognition, of overwhelming gratitude, of a deep, soul-shaking comprehension. She had finally, truly understood. Her twisted thoughts, those relentless internal tormentors, were not her enemies. They were not curses. They were, and always had been, divine messengers. They were sacred invitations for profound growth, for a deeper spiritual awakening. They were the very voice of the universe, whispering in her ear, not of condemnation, but of boundless potential, saying, "You are capable of so much more than you imagine. You are worthy of so much more than you allow yourself to receive. You are destined for a greatness that transcends your current understanding." And in that singular, luminous moment, Alara grasped a truth that would forever alter the trajectory of her life. She understood, with every fiber of her being, that mental darkness is not a curse to be avoided or feared. It is, in its most profound and paradoxical form, a blessing. It is the universe, in its infinite wisdom and boundless love, gently yet firmly, pushing you, urging you, sometimes even dragging you towards the magnificent, authentic being you were always destined to become. Because those who have never dared to confront their own darkness, who have never journeyed into the deepest recesses of their own shadows, will never truly know the boundless depth, the incandescent power of their own inherent light. This, then, is the profound truth that the wise woman came to share. This is the sacred message she left behind, not just for Alara, but for all who are willing to listen, for all who are brave enough to look within. And now, this very message, this ancient wisdom, is here for you, resonating in the depths of your own soul. Your twisted thoughts, those internal whispers of doubt, fear, and inadequacy, are not your enemies. They are not curses. They are, in their deepest, most paradoxical essence, your most profound teachers, your most rigorous masters. They have entered the sacred space of your mind with a singular, divine purpose: to teach you, to guide you, to forge you into the magnificent, authentic being you were always destined to become. And when you finally grasp this, when you truly, deeply accept this liberating truth, you will discover, with a sense of awe and profound relief, that you were never, not for a single moment, truly alone. You will realize that there has always been a benevolent, divine intelligence, a guiding hand, orchestrating your journey, leading you through the deepest valleys of darkness, always towards the incandescent light of your own awakening. So the next time a twisted thought, a wave of self-criticism, a broken record of regret, or the insidious pull of the martyr syndrome arises in the sacred sanctuary of your mind, do not reject it. Do not ignore it. Do not fight against it as if it were an adversary. Instead, pause, breathe. Listen to it with an open heart and a discerning mind. Seek to understand its hidden message, its deeper purpose, because it is a messenger, a divine envoy, and it has something profoundly important to tell you, something vital for your spiritual evolution. You possess an inherent, divine capacity to transform your deepest darkness into the most radiant light. You are capable of transmuting your most profound suffering into the purest, most potent wisdom. You are capable of shedding the layers of societal conditioning and past wounds, and stepping into the magnificent, authentic being you truly are, the being you were divinely created to be. And this entire transformative journey, this profound spiritual alchemy, begins with one simple, yet utterly revolutionary understanding. Your twisted thoughts, those internal shadows you once feared, are not curses. They are, in their most profound and paradoxical form, blessings in disguise, sacred invitations from the universe to awaken to your true power. This is the story of Alara. This is the divine message she received, a message that shattered her old perceptions and illuminated her path. And now, this message, this profound truth, is yours as well. Remember always, mental darkness is not the end of your journey. It is not a sign of failure or weakness. On the contrary, it is often the most potent, most fertile beginning. It is the universe, in its infinite wisdom and boundless love, whispering in your ear, telling you, with unwavering certainty, that you are ready. You are ready to shed the old, to embrace the new, to become the magnificent, authentic being you were always destined to become. You are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you believe. You are more divine, more connected to the sacred source than you have ever dared to imagine. And those twisted thoughts, those internal shadows you once feared, they are merely the voice of the universe, calling you home, guiding you back to the truth of who you are, urging you to embrace the divine masterpiece that is your life. If Alara's journey resonated with you, if you found a glimmer of your own truth in her story, then I invite you to become a part of our growing community. Subscribe to our channel for more profound insights and transformative narratives. Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments below. Your perspective is invaluable. And if this message touched your soul, please share this video with someone who might need to hear it. Together, we can illuminate the path for others seeking to understand the divine purpose behind their own darkness.